Greetings and salutations, good citizens. Welcome back to the Fright Club. And now, as promised, here's my full spoiler-filled review of Ghostbusters Afterlife. Now, remember, I'm an old man, as you see by the gray of my beard. So my memory, because I saw this on Thursday of last week. So my memory, no, that's a lie. I saw this, count to 4. Yeah, I saw this last week. But I wanted to give everyone as much leeway as they could before I came out and spoiled it with my dumb ass. Alright? And granted, I may not even post this until after Thanksgiving. Because Thanksgiving weekend, I don't want anyone to be spoiled. I want everyone to go see this sumbitch. I'm going to see it again, honestly. More likely after Thanksgiving because I hate crowds and trust me, I worked at a movie theater. I know how packed it could be on Thanksgiving and Black Friday. Trust me on this one. However, here comes my spoiler review now. If you don't want this to be spoiled, leave now. Get out. Leave. Go. Go see the movie and come on back and see what I thought about it. But go. Now, if you have already seen it or don't give a rat's rear end about spoilers, stay. All right. So here's what it is. Movie opens on a dirt farm, and you see the quotes from Revelations. I forget what the numbers are. Forgive me, but they quote it in Ghostbusters 1 about the dead coming back and the mood turning into blood. Or see whatever, Judgment Day, that whole enchilada. So you see quotes from that, and then you see a gentleman being chased by ghosts. And he goes across his farm he's across the fields to his farm, and he hits like a foot pedal that looks very much like the pedal on a ghost trap. And he sees all the ghosts there, and then the thing's not working, so he starts stamping on it. And then he goes into his farm, locks the door, and his PKE meter starts going insane, like batshit crazy. And then he winds up opening up a trap door sort of thing in the floor, puts the trap in there. No, that's a lie. He puts a tricorder in, not tricorder. He puts the it's probably right with tricorder, by the way. But it's just, sorry kids. This is what happens again when you're an old man. You go to bed at 8 o'clock in the morning and get up at like 2 or 3. Your brain goes. Anyway, but he puts it in there, puts a trap in there, and then he gets gozered. Not gozered, he gets zooled. He sits in his chair and you see arms come out and grab him, and then he goes down, he dies. And this gentleman was Egon. You don't see his face, but it's Egon. Skip ahead a little bit and you see Egon's daughter. I was going to call her Mrs. Egon because I can't remember her name. And that's not a shot at the actress or the character. I'm just crap with names. The only one I remember is Phoebe, who is Egon's granddaughter. The reason I remember her because she's literally my favorite character in the show. That's not in the movie. That's not Peter Venkman, honestly. But so you see, Mrs. Egon is there, and I'm sorry, I would call her Egon's daughter. So Egon's daughter is there, and Egon's daughter is all, trying to get her kids ready for school, and then her power goes out because Phoebe is messing with electronics, and you get Kid from Stranger Things, who I'm going to call Kid from Stranger Things. He comes in and he's complaining. He's being a typical teenager, and Egon's daughter's all, oh, shut up, wacky. And then their landlord she opens the door and the landlord's nailing in an eviction notice. And she's like, son of a bitch. Dude, I just sent out the check. My father just died. I'm sorry, my father just died. I'm going to go to his place, see what he left us. I'll come back with a check. Booyah. And the landlord's like, I'm really helpful and caring. Get the hell out. And I won't, when you come back, I'll have the locks changed. Basically. And she's like, so they drive. And then when they get there, and they see the dirt farm that Egon had, they get there. That's when Egon's daughter goes, hey, kids, we're stuck here now. Got evicted. Thought I was just spraying that on you now. Kids are like, thanks, Mom. Well, actually, Mike from Stranger Things is like, thanks, Mom. Boo-hoo. Phoebe's just kind of, all right. And PKE meter. It's called a PKE meter. Holy crap. See how that brain works? Anyway. I hate being old. Anyway, so you find out through some of the exchanges that Phoebe has no friends. She's not antisocial. She's just, in my head, she's just smarter than everybody else. And maybe just doesn't click with people. I've met people like that. Shoot, minus the brilliant part, I am like that. Like, I didn't connect with people when I was a kid. That's why I became a funny sumbitch, because I had to do it somehow. It's my defense mechanism. But Phoebe, on the other hand, you know, she's just smarter than everybody else. She winds up going to summer school. Her mom's like, you sure? Because you can stay with me and clean out asbestos. She's like, no. But before that happens, they get there and like, oh crap. And then Janine shows up, and you find out that she was basically taking care of Egon, helping him pay the bills, and that she basically says this is a dirt farm. There's nothing really worthy in it, like nothing worthwhile, like no worth, like no cash worth. Egon's daughter's like, son of a biscuit, I need some money. Well, we're stuck here. I might as well clean it out and see what's up. And you find out that Egon just abandoned her mom and her, so Egon's daughter hates him and despite God, verbal Alzheimer's, kids. It's not a joke. Kind of, I don't think it's a real thing, but she pause. Resume. Still can't think of the word I'm looking for, but I'm gonna say bitter. She's bitter towards him. Lots of bitterness. She's very salty. And I'm sure the word will come up to me like halfway through, so I go, aha, it's this word, but in the moment, she's bitter. I'll go with that for now. So you find that out, and then like at night, Phoebe is like asleep, and then something knocks over a chessboard in her room. So Phoebe, then wakes up, resets the board, and then puts everything back together. Basically, like puts the board back to where everything should be. Goes back to sleep. When she wakes up, one of the pawns is moved. So Phoebe basically does a counter move and just leaves it there and says, all right. They go to a diner for food, and Mike from Stranger Things is like, I'm bored. Ooh, a chick. Hello. And I'm going to call this chick not Zendaya, because she kind of sort of looks like Zendaya, but isn't nearly as annoying, and actually has more charisma than a jar of mayonnaise. So, but he's all trying to, hey, how you doing? Do you work here? I need to get a job here. I'm 17. And he's trying some stuff, and then, like, I forget how she blows them off, but like all these people in, like, ah, ha, 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 ha. Basically. And Mike Stranger Things is like, argh. But he winds up getting a job there. Anywho, Phoebe goes to school and goes in, and it's summer school. So Paul Rudd shows up. He goes, hey kids, I'm Paul Rudd. How you doing? I'm your summer school teacher. Don't need to do a whole lot. So here we're gonna watch Cujo, which I'm like, I wish I went to summer school with this guy. That's awesome. And then, so he's there, and then this is where Phoebe meets Podcast. It's another great character. It's like the little chunky dude who comes in. He has like this giant boom mic and everything. He's like basically like doing this running commentary on Phoebe. And Phoebe's like, the hell are you doing? And he's like, oh no, my name is Podcast. Well, she's like, people call you podcast? She goes, no, I call myself podcast. And but before she goes to school, I'm sorry, I missed a bit. I missed some character development. My bad. As I told you, my brain just every once in a while go, no, say this. So I'm saying this now. Phoebe is armed with an arsenal of dad jokes, basically. As she's trying to be funny, and that's how she's going over her friends by making people laugh with these horrendous jokes. But I was dying the entire time because there was my kind of like, I won't give you the one I remember. How are cigarettes and gophers the same? Both are harmless until you stick it in your mouth and set fire to it. Which I heard, I was like, hee. And she has more, but I've only seen the movie once. That was the one that stuck in my head. And it was, she meets Podcast, and then she basically goes into Paul Rudd's office because she's bored. And Paul Rudd's like, hey, how you doing? Go watch Cujo, you silly person. You're stupid. Because that's what he doesn't say that, but you find out when he's talking to Phoebe's mom that every kid in summer school isn't the sharpest knife in the drawer. So he's like, and there's just here, so he's gonna make him watch movies with blankety. And then he sees Phoebe, and then and Paul Rudd's a seismologist, and he's like, oh, there's earthquakes here all the time. Why? There's no fault lines. There's no this, there's that. And Phoebe's like, well, yeah, this. He's like, you know this? She's like, I'm not dumb, which I enjoyed. Like, I thought some better character building. And then Phoebe finds the PKE meter, and she's following it around. And then she gets to the trapdoor thing. She figures it out, Tetris style, basically. And then she opens up the thing, and she has a trap, and then somehow it winds up in school. No, she takes it to the teacher, goes, poof. And the teacher's like, that's a hell of a replica. And then he picks it up and goes, he's like, that's not a replica. And he's like, do you guys know about the Ghostbusters? And both Phoebe and Podcast are like, the hell you talk about? And he's like, how do you not know about the Ghostbusters? This happened in the 80s. And both of them are like, it's before we were born, Chief. So then we get the recap of the Ghostbusters for those in the audience who don't know. I say it must suck to either be young or Amish to not know about the Ghostbusters. So I go through the whole thing. And this is where Phoebe finds out, oh crap, my grandfather was a freaking Ghostbuster. Basically puts it together. But anyway, so they go out and they basically test the trap to get it to open. Because Paul Rudd basically says science isn't safe. Science is wild, it's chaos, it's fun, basically. It's not exactly what he says, but basically what he says. And then they basically use jumper cables and a bus to open the trap, and this giant friggin' spectral terror dog comes out, goes, and flies through things, shattering windows and breaking the window on Paul Rudd's car. And they're like, oh shit, what the hell was that? And at the same time, Mike from Stranger Things, not Zendaya, and some people are at a mountain. By the way, this may happen much later than this, but I don't give a rat's ass about Stranger Things Mike in this movie. I don't, really. But they're at a mountain. They're there. Him and Zendaya are kind of getting buddy-buddy, a little chummy. And then there's a mountain there with you get on not a bridge. Yeah, but basically like a lift, and it goes down into the mountain itself. But there's a giant, and Mike looks down, this giant red lava thing, and then this big freaking thing goes zool or whatever. And he's like, what the hell? And then skip ahead a bit. Phoebe follows the thing again. Follows PK meter, goes to a garagey, not garagey, like another building on the farm, and finds a pole, slides down the pole, and it's basically Egon's workshop. You see Egon's collection of spores, molds, and fungus, and then as Phoebe's looking around, stuff starts turning on by itself, and she finds a proton pack. And she starts taking it apart, tinkering with it. And he's like, oh, I need this. And then all of a sudden, like, a drawer opens and the light shines in. And you're watching, you're like, oh, shit, that's Egon. Egon's ghost is just helping her out. And then she finds the Ghostbusters suits. And her and Egon basically rebuild the proton pack. And then she takes it to school. Not the school, but she takes it to, like, this junkyard, basically. And podcasts. They have like a bunch of like glass bottles set up on like an engine block or some shit. And then Phoebe turns on the pack. And by the way, being in a theater and hearing the proton pack fire up for the first time since I was a kid, I got chills. I'm getting chills thinking about it right now, cause it's just my childhood. She fires it up and then lets loose and fires the proton pack, and I'm like, now this is my only nitpick of the movie. Really, my biggest nitpick, and it's not a giant one. It's not like, oh, it was ruining the movie for me, but it was just Phoebe's not that tall. This has nothing to do with her gender, by the way. She's not that tall and she's not that wide. Like she's a little girl. I say girl, she's probably a teenager, but I'm 40 something, so to me, anyone under 30 is a child. That's a fib, but anyone under 18 to me is a kid. Trust me, to me, podcast is a boy. So, there. But she's a girl, and not even that she's a girl, she's teeny. So when she lets loose with the proton pack, I'm expecting her to fly back a bit. Not retardedly big like in the 2016 Crapfest, but just enough because it should have enough power. That's physics. She doesn't. I'm not looking for total realism, by the way, so shut up, people. But that was my gripe. When she lets loose, destroys the thing, they're like, podcast is like, that was amazing, let me try. And then they hear a ghost, or they hear a noise from like across the way in the junkyard. So they go in this building to look for it, and they see this giant, not giant, like this fat fat ghost eating up metal. I'm going to call him not Slimer. I think his name was Muncher. I think they named him Muncher. I just want to call him not Slimer. But Muncher, he's eating up things. So Phoebe's like, I'm going to trap it. Because we got a trap. I got me a proton pack. Let's go. She fires it up. Whatever. She catches it. But podcast, when he goes to slide in the trap doesn't really slide all that well. Doesn't work. And it goes. And I'm like, fine. That makes perfect sense to me. In the meantime, Mike from Stranger Things has found the Ecto-1. And he's tinkering with it. And he can't get it turned over. And you see wires start fixing themselves in the engine because Egon's helping him out. And then finally, he kicks back in. And he's like, yeah, he drives. This is one of the best scenes of the movie, of him just driving and being a kid. It was great. And he's driving, yeah. And then he winds up driving around and he sees Phoebe and Podcast. And they both get in and they're driving, and then like they're saying there's ghosts. Dad was a ghost, like grandfather was Ghostbusters, and Mike from Stranger Things is like, shut up, whatever. And like they're following it. No, you gotta follow. Go here. And then they're following it, and then they see Muncher, and Mike from Stranger Things is like, what the? And then Muncher turns, looks at it, and they're spitting metal, and it just pop like bullets. And then there's the chase is on, and then Phoebe accidentally triggers something on the seat she's in, and like in the commercial, and I think in the cartoon at least once, she's in a gunner seat, just pops out. She's there. She has the proton back, and she's firing at the thing. Damage is being done everywhere. They're driving, they're speeding, they're trying to catch the ghost. And Podcast finds a ghost trap on wheels and the remote control. And he starts driving it around, and they're trying to catch it. They're driving. They get to a bridge that's leading to Evil Mountain. And they're like, oh crap. And then, but they catch it finally, and then they have to bring Phoebe in, and the thing drives in just before it hits. And then, so they're driving back. Cops show up, and Mike's like, crap. And at the same time, Paul Rudd and Egon's daughter are on a date. They're somewhere, and they're on this date as all hell is breaking loose with the ghost. Like, at one point, Muncher flies through the restaurant they're at, and no one really says anything, which I'm like, that's weird. You find out Egon's daughter hates science. And Paul Rudd, no, science is awesome. Science is badass. This is great. Oh, crap. What have you. And then, so the kids get arrested. You find out not Zendaya is the police chief's daughter, and she's screwing with Mike from Stranger Things once again. They're there, and then Egon's daughter and Paul Rudd come in. Egon's daughter's like, what the hell's wrong with you kids? Like, she freaks out in a way that is fair. Her kids got arrested, and they destroyed a shit ton of damage. Fair. And Phoebe's like, there's a ghost in that trap. And the cop's like, yeah, ha, ha, ha. And everyone in the town calling Egon like a dirt farmer, like they're very disrespectful to him. And you see Phoebe start to lose her shit, which is weird because she's very, very, very robotic. She's very, like, you see she's neutral. She doesn't have any emotion. She's getting to the point where, in the original movie where Peck blames everything, like when the containment field explodes, he blames everything on them. And Egon's like, your mother! And he goes after him. She's getting there. And at one point, they're like, we don't believe you. And Phoebe, and he calls Egon a dirt farmer. And Phoebe grabs the friggin' neutrino one from the proton pack, fires it up, and aims it at the cop. And I'm like, oh, she pissed. Now, I don't think she was going to shoot him, but because they didn't believe her about the ghost, they're going to take the trap and the pack back. And Phoebe's like, there's going to be more. You're making a mistake. So they get home. Phoebe and her mom get into a bit of an argument, and Phoebe's like, "Why didn't you tell us Grandpa was a Ghostbuster? Why didn't you say this? Why didn't you say that?" And then, because he wasn't insane, he wasn't insane. He gave up he sacrificed everything to come here for a reason. And Egon's daughter is like, doesn't matter. He's a piece of crap, essentially. And I can understand that she's bitter. I got that. Trust me, I have anyone who understands that, it's me. But Phoebe's just pissed, blah, blah, blah. And then they wind up at Evil Mountain. Can't quite remember how. I do know, however, they want. They're in a diner. They're in the diner that Mike and Zendaya, and not Zendaya, work at. And they're there, and they have this map, like a topographical map. And they're looking to see what the hell is going down. And it basically points to evil Gozer Mountain. And either before or after this, Paul Rudd is in a Walmart. Yeah, it's after the date goes astray. And he's home, and he's walking through a Walmart, grabbing some ice cream, whatever, get some snacks. And then you get to the point where you see the mini Stay Puft Marshmallow Men coming out of the bags. And the Stay Puft. And they're just all gremlin-like because they're first they're cute, and they bite them. And they're all over the place, like they're impaling each other. It's insane, and it's funny. And then Paul Rudd finally sees the way he turns. He sees the terror dogs eating a bunch of dog food. And then the terror dog looks up, sees him. Oh no, he's like, he's trying to sneak away, and then he gets hit by a bunch of Stay Puffs on a whatever how you call a Roomba. And it hits him in the foot. He's like, ow! And then the terror dog just looks up. He's like, and Paul Rudd's like, oh, shit on a stick. And he starts running, and the terror dog jumps after him. He starts running, and then he gets into his car. He's trying to start it, and the terror dog just jumps up, and he's like, Paul Rudd's like, ah! And that's it. Okay. Then we get the Gozer Mountain. This is where stuff picks up. Because Phoebe is looking around, like Gozer Mountain, like they get in down there, like this giant temple thing. And you see And you see the body of Ivo Shandor, which I thought was awesome because his name's dropped in the movie, in the first movie. And yeah, you see him in the video game, but first time you ever saw him in the flesh, so I thought that was dope. And Ivo Shandor is played by J.K. Simmons, which I did not expect. I didn't know he was in this movie. But he's there, he's lying there. And at one point, the body moves. I forget how on podcasts, like, dude moved. And everyone's looking around for stuff. And Phoebe figures out, like, you see a bunch of numbers. The same numbers on the cave walls, or at least on the temple walls, or what have you. Or the mountain walls, anyway, that Egon had on the walls of his farm. And then Phoebe's just, it's a countdown. And they're all numbers, like, they're years. Like, something 08, something, and then 1980, whatever the hell Ghostbusters 1 first took place, I think 84, 85. And then 2021. It's like, it's a countdown. And then they put together about the Keymaster and the Gatekeeper. And when they get back home, they find out, oh crap, Mom's possessed. And Mom's like, all like, there is no Mom, only Zool. And then Mom escapes. And then they're like, oh crap on a stick. So like, all right, we need to get the hell out of here. We need to save Mom, and we need to get Zool out of Mom. And like, how are we gonna do this? And so like, we're gonna trap it. So they sneak into the police station, and the trap and the proton pack are behind bars, and they're like, oh crap, how are we gonna do this? And Podcast is a great idea. Podcast is like, gets a stick, basically, frees Muncher. Muncher just eats through everything and goes. Like, eats through the bars, goes, and then like, he's just like, and Phoebe grabs the pack, they go. Because she figures out that what Egon had set up in the beginning of the movie was like a giant trap. It's this giant trap, and she figures it's going to work. That his plan was to trap Gozer. So the kids get to Gozer Mountain. And I forgot a big part. I am so sorry. When they're in jail, Phoebe's one phone call. She calls the number that's on the commercial that's on YouTube, where the "We're ready to believe you" commercial. And the call goes to Ray's Occult Books. Ray Stantz answers the phone. They have a chat, and Ray's like, screw Egon Spengler, and she's like, I thought you were friends. They have this conversation where you find out what happened to the Ghostbusters. That Egon took all their crap. That I had a cough. That was in the movie. Like, hey, dude from Jersey had a cough. It's really weird. That's specific as hell. Either way. So she's like, but the last thing she says, I'm Egon's granddaughter, until the sheriff says, time's up. So back to where I was. So they're there, and then they get to the temple on Gozer Mountain. And, well, first, Paul Rudd and Egon's daughter, they do the Gatekeeper Keymaster shtick, which means brown chicken, brown cow, but they don't show it, but and then in doing so, Gozer wakes up. And I do believe Gozer's played by Olivia Wilde. I'm not 100% on that one, but it looks like her. She gets up, and then Phoebe decides to start telling jokes. It's like, and to distract her, so that Podcast can drive a trap, the remote control trap underneath Zool. He hits the thing, and then Zool gets trapped, and the Mom's back. They all race back to the farmhouse, because once they trap him, Gozer just like loses corporeal form. Before they do that, though, Gozer kills Vince Clortho by ripping him in half, which, ouch. But now Chase is on. They get to the farm. It's everyone. And like Gozer shows up, but Gozer is non corporeal, but she's still pissed and powerful, and she's like, you damn kids. And Terror Dog's there, not Zool is there, and then and Phoebe starts shooting, blah blah blah, and then I know, no, the dog doesn't possess Phoebe's mom again. It possesses not Zendaya. So then Gozer comes back, he's like, ha ha, and starts shooting things. She's like, oh, and then Phoebe's like, no, she hits, and her mom hits the thing, and it's not working. And you can see like one of the they have this giant generators on the farm, it isn't working, and Phoebe's like, shit. And Gozer's about to, I'm going to go kill the kids, and Mom, Mama Bear, that she is, she steps in front of her kids like, screw you, let's go, Flat Top. And right before Gozer can, she gets hit with a bunch of no, she's like, and then she hears, hey, Flat Top, did you miss us? She turns around and you got Venkman, Winston, and Ray standing there in full gear. I'm getting goosebumps again thinking about this. They're there. They're all badass looking. They look old, but hey, it's them in the suits. And Gozer turns, right? Peter says a bunch of stuff, and then she looks at him and goes, are you a god? And both Peter and Winston look at Ray. And Ray says, and Peter's like, really? You cannot be serious. And Ray's like, yes. And was like, yeah, he's a god. We're all gods. The hell. And then tussle happens. They start firing they fire the proton packs. And Gozer can do something which I think is cool. Like they fire, she's hitting it, and then she grabs them like they're physical and just like pulls them around, like flings them all away, and then Phoebe starts shooting them, and then Mike from Stranger Things trying to shoot her. And it's not working. Like his proton pack's not working because there's mini Stay Puft Marshmallow Man like everywhere. They're just eating the wires and stuff. And Podcast starts going insane, starts killing them all. Like they're eating that, and they're eating the trap that he has. Like he just starts killing them all, and then as Gozer advances, Phoebe shoots. So now, and then Gozer turns around, and it's Phoebe versus Gozer, and Gozer shoots lightning, basically Palpatine style. And Phoebe shoots the proton pack, and they're like back and forth. Gozer has to win. Egon shows up. Like Ghost Egon shows up, and dude, I won't lie to you. Like from here on out, I cried. I didn't even stop crying from the moment Egon appears. Because it looks just like him. And it's the ghost, but it looks solid enough to work. And Egon has a proton pack, and he starts firing, and everyone's firing. And then Mike finally gets his proton pack to work. But instead of firing at Gozer, he turns around and fires at one of the generators, powering it up. Blah, blah, blah. Everyone's like, oh. And then Mom steps on the trap. I think it's Mom. Is it Mom or Phoebe? One of them steps on the trap. On the giant trap, and all of a sudden everything gets. Oh God! At one point, you see Egon standing next to the Ghostbusters. I'm about to cry now, honestly. Standing next to the Ghostbusters, see all three of them looking at him, and it's just Ray. You can see Ray, and I don't want to say anything bad about Dan Aykroyd, but I don't know how well of an actor he is anymore. Like, I'm not trying to be mean, but he's just bawling, and all three of them look like they're seeing their friend. So either the pain is that fresh still that they can draw upon it, which I'm thinking maybe it is, or maybe it's just Ivan Reitman's son, whose name I'm blanking on. I'm terrible at this, but Ivan Reitman's son, who directed, maybe he was able to bring that out of him. But oh my God, it was so good and it was so powerful. And at one point, Venkman's like, "Kind of thought I'd see you here." Heart-wrenching. It was just, I could hear the theater. Like, I could hear everyone in the audience. You could hear, like, in a wave. But they defeat Gozer. Hooray. And then the post-credit, yay, and everyone's like, yay. And then Venkman's like, oh, by the way, my name is Peter Venkman. Here you go. Oh, I forgot another big part. Damn it, I'm bad at this. I was just going through everything. Before Egon's daughter gets possessed by Zool, she winds up, she finds the PK meter. She winds up finding it and going to Egon's little hideaway. And as she's there, she's looking at everything, and then Egon's ghost grabs a light and puts it towards this giant wall he has of her, like everything she's done. Like he kept track of her. So and she was like, he didn't love me. There was nothing in here. There's not one photo of me in here on the wall. Nothing. He didn't love me. Then the ghost was like, yes, I do. There's nothing at the end, man. Like after Gozer goes, gets taken out, whatever, and you see she hugs her father, and whoof, ouch, lay ouch. And then her and Paul run to plan a second date, and Peter is like, oh hey, I'm Peter Venkman with the Ghostbusters. I'm with the head office, talking to the kids. Like, you guys have potential. And then I had to go to the bathroom, so I missed the post-credit sequences. So I'm not going to review them to you because I didn't see them. I know what they are, but I didn't see them, so I couldn't give you my reaction to them. So if you want to know what that is, find somebody else. But until then, good citizens, that is my review of Ghostbusters. I love this movie. I absolutely love it. This is a Valentine to all the fans. And also for new fans. This is perfect for kids. For anyone saying this is a sexist movie, you're an idiot. You got a female-led Ghostbusters movie, and it works. My favorite character in this whole movie, except for, is Phoebe. She was amazing. Everyone needs to see this movie if you're a Ghostbusters fan. Even if you're not, you need to see this movie. Till next time, good citizens, catch y'all later on the flip side. Bye.